This is Rumi's Instant Ramen from K-pop Demon Hunters. This is Mira's and this is Zoey's. And today I'm gonna make all three flavors in real life, going all the way from the package design to the ultimate taste test to see which of the Huntrix girls has the best ramen. And we are starting with the Korean supermarket. In the movie, each Huntrix girl has her own unique flavor, reflecting her identity. So I needed to develop 3 different flavors that will capture the character's spirit. As the main character, Rumi has a superstar flavor, which looks a lot like Shin Ramen mild variety. One of my favorite flavors. Whatever it means, superstar sounds incredibly vague, but I feel inspired enough to work with that. Mira's flavor is a spice queen, which is much easier. It's so reminiscent of the Korean classic top 1 selling Shin Ramyon. And because Mira is such a wild child, I feel like her ramen must be Korean level of spicy, while Zoey's hamburger opens the room for experiments. As a Korean American, she was raised in California, which brings us to this original flavor. Wow, this movie has some deep lore. Anyway, I think the toppings will do the trick here, so we better choose a neutral ramen base here. I selected a base ramen for each character, and it was time for the design. We got what we need, and we also got some snacks because you can't resist Korean snacks. Now you can see the package design pretty clearly in the music video, so I took a couple screenshots as the references and began my process. Alright, I first took the measurements from each cup because last time I was dealing with the cone-shaped packaging for the Moonbeam ice cream, I kind of failed to make it fit, and I had to improvise. But this time, I'm much wiser, so I employed the good old arts and crafts to help me. I did sort of a really bad cursed origami and then retraced the shape I got on the paper. This should serve me as a guiding template. I generated some parts of the image and meticulously crafted the pattern on the background. It took me a really long time, but I'm sure it was absolutely worth it. Now, the minute I saw Huntrix eating instant ramen noodles, I lost my mind. I'm a huge ramen nerd. I tried every bulldog flavor. I tested basically every Korean ramen cooking life hack, and I always have a spare pack for a midnight snack. So here's my casual stash of bulldog and other noodles. So this project is a love letter for every ramen I ever consumed. And to make it look even more legit, I wanted to include the recommended cooking instructions as shown in the movie. And after a full day of designing, I was finally ready to print it. I feel like my local print shop will soon be asking questions, because every 2 weeks I show up with a new fictional package design and ask them to print it on their finest paper.
Thank you. Can we pay by card?
Like this video if your favorite character is the tiger too. He's so adorable. We got it printed. It looks amazing. And just look at how beautiful the print is. It's so glossy. Looks pretty legit to me. So with the design finished, I was ready to craft. I was really nervous and wondered if it would fit this time. My hands were shaking every time I was holding the scissors. It took me some time to figure out how to fit my print on the packaging. This shape still confuses me a lot because I just don't understand why it's like this. It's not trapezoid, it's not rectangular, I just don't get it. Math ain't mathing for me and geometry is stupid. Or I am. But after some measuring, cutting and gluing, I had a pretty amazing result. Not wanna brag, but I've outdone myself.
How cool is that?
I was so happy the project was coming together.
They look so beautiful, I can't stop admiring them.
Alright, it's cooking time. We're starting with Rumi's superstar flavor. And I feel like she's my favorite character. She's easy for me to connect with because she's superstar, she has purple hair, and by the end of each video, my hairstyle also looks like I was fighting demons all night. That's why I'm using my absolute favorite recipe to cook my favorite character's ramen. I watched like a million instant ramen hacks, and now I'm ready to show you how it's done. I was not scared of the pretty undefined superstar flavor, because the superstar of every Korean ramen recipe are the toppings. Our base is a classic soup ramen with rich beef broth and a nice touch of
I learned
veggies.
this neat hack in Korea. You actually can use your chopsticks to hold the lid. Isn't that amazing?
It's deeply flavorful, savory, and not too spicy, giving these gentle comfort food vibes. And in my humble opinion, this ramen goes best with hot dog sausage, poached egg, and some veggies. I quickly pan-fried the sausage and cooked the perfect-looking poached egg. As for the veggies, I went for kimchi and some spring onion.
Oh, smells like farts. I love kimchi so much, so it's good kind of farts.
And I love adding a slice of American cheese to this kind of ramen, so I chopped it in small star pieces. Oh, so I tried. And after putting everything together and arranging it as beautiful as I could do, I had such an appetizing looking ramen. I could not resist for long.
It looks absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it's the most beautiful ramen I ever cooked, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be the most delicious one.
You know, I love instant ramen so much.
Once you try this combination, you are never going back to eating just instant noodles. Because this is what makes ramen so special and so delicious. The poached egg is just perfect.
This flavor definitely deserves to be called superstar, because it's just amazing. Now, cooking a delicious Shin Ramen is sort of a national sport in Korea. Every grandma has her unique recipe, and it's imperative for us to customize the recipe. And since Mira comes from a respectable traditional family, and most likely a wealthy family, her ramen should be a bit extra. Now, in each of the girls' ramen, I'm adding a protein source. And a prawn sounds like a pretty fancy option here. I quickly fried it with some garlic and chili flakes. As for an egg, I went for a chili flake sunny side up. And I did not worry much about the broken yolk, because if we should learn anything from K-pop demon hunters, it's to embrace the imperfections. Side note, the garlic chili oil egg tastes so incredibly good. You should add it to a breakfast
And
list.
now we only have to wait 3 minutes for the ramen to get ready. Oh my god! What's this? You got a message for me? Oh! It tells you to subscribe! Subscribe for the cat!
I also decided to add some black truffle for an extra fancy kick. And because this K-pop idol truffle oil recipe caused a national shortage in Korea, I had to try it. I also felt like Mira would want an extra spice and creaminess, so I used an old TikTok hack by mixing together some peanut butter, sriracha, toasted sesame oil, and the seasoning with a tiny splash of water.
Honestly, I'm starting to have second thoughts about adding sriracha there. Sriracha. Because what burns on its way in, burns on its way out. If you know, you know.
Finally, it all came together as I added some black truffle paste and some spring onions on top. It smelled so good, and I felt like it was the fanciest ramen I ever cooked. So I was super excited to try it.
Oh my god, it's finally ready. I'm super excited to try it and also a bit scared because something tells me it would be quite spicy. But it smells so appetizing. I can smell peanut in there and the truffle. It's so good. It's gotta be good. Cheers. Oh, whoa! Alright, here's what I think. The egg with garlic is just bangers. The prawn with truffle goes so well with this combination. It elevates the whole flavor profile. I like it so much. The broth is really spicy. It's so rich in flavor, so umami, and I already feel like I'm sweating. I would not expect peanut butter would do anything, but it's really creamy. Quite surprising for me. I would give this flavor 7 out of 10 because it's really delicious. It tastes quite premium, but the spice level is not quite for me. I'm sure if you love spicy things, you will absolutely love this. So try this at home and comment what you got.
and I would definitely add this to my secret midnight snacks list. It was finally the time for the most controversial and potentially the most delicious flavor. I was a bit scared to make it because it could either be the most underrated ramen in human history or a total disaster. But I promise you, I did my best. I picked the most neutral flavored ramen with the vegetable broth and decided to focus on the toppings. And to catch a burger vibe, we obviously needed a good old beef patty. I used the spatula to break the ground beef into small pieces as if I was cooking tacos, and I added some barbecue seasoning. And it turns out Japan actually has a ramen variety topped with ground meat called tantamen, so we are not completely off the rails here. Finally, I felt bold enough to make a leap of faith and add more burger toppings like American cheese, lettuce, and pickles. And for the spice touch, I also added a couple of marinated jalapenos.
Alright, hear me out. I know a lot of people are generally scared of pickles, but I'm willing to give them a chance because pickles can be very, very good.
Oh my god, they're frozen. There's a chunk of ice in there. That's scary.
It was the most burger ramen I ever cooked, and I started to feel anxious. Like I said, it's gonna be legendary for sure, but it can go terribly wrong or be incredibly successful. And before I started to doubt myself, I took a bite.
Weirdly enough, it smells like burger. Well, here goes nothing. Wow, it's not bad. Actually, it's pretty good. I would not say I would cook it every time I crave ramen, but it's definitely something. It's super experimental. I definitely recommend you to try this. It tastes like Big Mac turned into a ramen. McRamen. But it's good. It's really good.
A jalapeno!
Well, adding jalapenos was definitely a good idea. They bring just the right amount of spiciness. Surprisingly, I also absolutely loved how pickles go with this crazy gig here. I would give this flavor 6.5 out of 10 because ground beef bothers me a bit. Lettuce and pickles together taste like kimchi.
Alright, it was definitely an adventure. Today I tried some crazy flavors and absolutely unique ramen combinations. I did my best to recreate every instant ramen from K-pop Demon Hunters, and I enjoyed myself very much. It was a fun project to try, and I had so much fun in the process. Tell me what you think in the comments, which ramen would you try, and subscribe for more creative snack content.